Aha. Yeah, so anyway, I just watched this morning's interview on the Breakfast Club with Desus and Mero from the show Desus and Mero that comes on Viceland. Bronx Love, of course. Anyway, from the very beginning of the show, DJ Envy wants an apology primarily from Desus. Because apparently, Desus and Mero on their show, I think it feels like I guess it maybe was 2 weeks ago. They basically made comments about DJ Envy going on the show called The Real, which features 4 women. He goes on the show with The Real with his wife, and they're basically talking about a situation that occurred years ago between DJ Envy and his wife, where DJ Envy had some sort of affair. And, if you listen to Desus and Mero, you watch the show, you listen to the podcast, the Bodega Boys, you already know what it is. You already know how they roll. They're some funny dudes, so they had a few jokes. I watched the episode a couple of weeks ago when they were talking about this, DJ Envy and his wife being on the show The Real. I don't think they went too deep into it. They had a few light jabs, They told a few jokes because that's what they do. They're some funny dudes. And that was basically it. So basically, Desus and Mero were guests on the Breakfast Club this morning, and they basically wanted, DJ Envy, Charlamagne and Angela Yee, they were cool. DJ Envy wanted primarily, he was talking to both Desus and Mero, but for the most part, most of his energy was focused on Desus. He wanted Desus to apologize for the jokes about DJ Envy and his wife's situation that was discussed upon on that show, The Real, which maybe I've heard of it, but I don't watch TV, so I've never seen it. But anyway, which Desus did apologize. He apologized twice. The first 2 minutes of the first 2 minutes of the interview, and it wasn't even that long of an interview. The interview wasn't even 30 minutes. But for the first 2 minutes of this interview, DJ Envy is just sounding off. He is just going off on Desus. Talking about, first thing he said, he was like, this is the Breakfast Club. He was like talking to Desus and Mero. To me, he was talking to Desus. He was like, you deserve my wife and I an apology for, how you went in on us or how you went in on me or us, basically, on your show, Desus and Mero. And, Desus, he apologized within the first 2 minutes. He apologized. And that was that, and that's cool and all. The way that I look at it, and of course afterwards, not too long afterwards, DJ Envy was in the room. He was in the seat for a little while longer. Then a few minutes shortly afterwards, he got up and he left. And when he did that, I was like, okay, he's gone. Like I said, the interview wasn't even 30 minutes long, so it wasn't even that long of an interview. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, Envy's gone for this episode. He's not coming back. I was like, he's not coming back. It's not that long of a time to be gone anyway, so he's not coming back. Okay, you took an extended break of 25 minutes or whatever. Good for you, all right? He's not coming back, Now, what I think about this, I'm not in the business of telling people necessarily how they should feel, about a certain situation, okay? That's not what I'm here to do. That's not the way that I'm rolling. That's not the way that I'm living, okay? I'm not upset with how DJ Envy felt, but at the same time, it's like, how surprised can you be? You know what I mean? I heard on an episode of The Breakfast Club, because I am a fan of The Breakfast Club. I've listened to them for years. I've watched the videos, the records, the recordings that they do. I watch it on YouTube. There was an episode a while ago where DJ Envy was talking about, briefly, he was talking about his wife and their family and, their relationship. He was like, they've had a great relationship. They have a great relationship. As far as this whole affair thing is concerned that supposedly happened between him with his wife, I didn't even know about that until recently. I didn't even know about that till recently when him and his wife were on The Real to talk to these 4 other women about it. I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying? So I never even know that this occurred. Okay? Now, See, here's where the problem comes into play with DJ Envy. It's like, Envy, and, Desus Mero, they, and Charlamagne, they all talked about it, after, Envy left for the remainder of the interview. They talked about it. It was like, when you're in entertainment, when Desus mentioned it, when you're in the entertainment industry, when you're in the entertainment business, especially if you do a show or something like that, especially if there's anything comedic about you or any comedic material included in any of your dialogue or anything that you do, whatever, your show, whatever's going on, you know what I'm saying? You cannot be surprised if, other people decide to go at you and make fun of you or make jokes about you. You know what I'm saying? You can't have thin skin for that. Otherwise, your career's not going to last too long, which I agree with. Because, Charlamagne's a fan of Charlamagne the God is a heavy fan of the show. Desus and Mero, they're heavy fans of the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne, so they go back and forth. He was like, hey, we crap on Charlamagne. Charlamagne craps on us. It's all good. We have history. It's all good. But DJ Envy's main problem, the point he was trying to make is like, you can make fun of me all you want talking to mainly Desus, but he was talking to both of them because Mero's there too. He was like, you can talk about me all you want. You can get on me all you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the business. Okay, you can do that, but don't talk about my wife and my kids. But DJ Envy, you were talking about your wife and your kids. You were talking about your personal affairs with your family, the mistakes that you've made and stuff like that. You did that. Like I said, I didn't even know about this until recently. And I've been peeping the Breakfast Club for years. And I've heard of DJ Envy for even more years. So it's like, dude, you did that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Desus apologizes. And what I think about this is like, personally, I think DJ Envy, I think he could have handled it. I think he could have handled it differently. I would have handled it differently. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like one of those things, if I was in that situation, DJ Envy's situation that was, if I really felt a certain way about it, towards, Desus Mero, in particular Desus, that's from my personal observations, that's what I saw. That's the energy that I noticed. I would have been like, I would have talked to Desus. I'd have been like, yo, we could speak about this, before the show goes on. Me and you can go in a room together or just go somewhere. We can have a private conversation, just the two of us, as two individuals. I could tell you what I think, how I feel about it. I would love to hear what you have to say, what you think. We could go from there. But no, DJ Envy decided to put that out there while the show is on the air. While the cameras are recording, while everyone is listening, okay? Which is his business. I'm not really mad at him about that. But like I said, I would have handled it a little differently. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have popped off like that. And then a few minutes in, you get amped and then walk out and then you never come back. You know what I'm saying? That was like, dude, come on. Even Charlamagne the God said afterwards, he was like, why didn't he just sit this one out if he knew he was going to pop off like that from jump? Why didn't he just sit this interview out like I did not too long ago with Troy Ave? I'm not going to talk about Troy Ave right now. But he's like, Charlamagne was like, why didn't he just do that? What this created, I thought, it just basically, for the majority of the remainder of the interview, for the most part, you just gave Charlamagne, Desus, and Mero, you just gave them all types of comedic material. Even Angela Yee, she was talking a lot more. Big ups to her. She stepped up like a professional and stepped in. Because I've seen some episodes where Charlamagne's doing most of the talking. Angela Yee's talking here and there, but some episodes, she doesn't say too much. DJ Envy talks here and there, but a lot of episodes I've seen, he's not doing so much talking. So that's not crazy to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would have just, if I was DJ Envy out and I knew I had this in my mind and I was feeling a certain way towards Desus and Mero's comments on the Desus and Mero show on Viceland, primarily Desus's, which I don't completely understand, I don't completely get or buy into, because it's like, dude, it's like, you did this, you put this out there, you made this available, you made the situation available to public opinion, your listeners, your fans, people that don't like you, you did this. You know what I'm saying? Desus and Mero didn't pull this out of you. And like you said, like I said, you watched that episode of Desus and Mero when they were, when they were entertaining the situation, when, DJ Envy and his wife were on the Real talking about this. The jokes weren't that serious. It was pretty light. It was that serious, but I mean, DJ Envy, come on, dude. You had an affair with your wife. It's like, okay, that's still a surprise. I never even seen his wife before they made this appearance on The Real. I never even seen his wife before. All I knew is that, they've had a great relationship, and they have a great relationship. Him and his family, they're great. It's like, okay, awesome. And then you see DJ Envy they bring one of the cameras out. They switch to another camera that has a aerial view from the top. And it shows, DJ Envy, standing up and, and then eventually walking out, which I've been in living real life situations. I've seen people do that before. I have seen people do that before, and I peeped that, and I've always thought it was corny as heck. It's like, come on, look, if you got something to say it. Otherwise, yeah, then walk your ass out of here. All right, bounce, homie, take a break. You know what I'm saying? I was like, maybe Envy went to smoke a cigarette. I was like, no, I don't think he's a smoker. He doesn't come off like that to me. He probably just went somewhere to cool off, obviously, But yeah, for the remainder of the show, the comedic material was it was surrounding that first 2 minutes and some change of the show, where DJ Envy was going hard, primarily at Desus, and that led to other funny parts, but with the exchange between Desus Mero, Angela Yee, and Charlemagne. It was just, which was kind of funny. It really was kind of funny. But I'm just saying, I wish it would have been nice to see DJ Envy handle that situation differently. I get it. You didn't like the joke. Okay. Maybe you were personally offended. You felt like you was offended. You felt like it offended your wife, and that wasn't funny. But this is kind of what Desus Mero do for a living. They said their show was cultural commentary. But there's a lot of comedy there. These are some funny dudes. Anytime when their show was on Complex, when their show was on MTV2, anytime I've seen these brothers over the years, these are some funny dudes. The first time I seen them, I was like, yo, these dudes are hilarious. I'd be laughing damn near nonstop throughout their entire episodes. And the episodes were a little shorter back then, so it kind of sucked. But still, you know what I'm saying? That was something. That was something to see, That was definitely something to see, because when I watch The Breakfast Club, I'm used to seeing DJ Envy. This is the first episode of The Breakfast Club where DJ Envy was not smiling once. Like, he was tense. He wasn't his normal laid-back, lighthearted self. And he was going in on Desus the whole time that he was there before he decided to leave the room. I mean, come on, B. Like, there's better ways to go about that. And how surprised can you be? You're in the entertainment industry. You're in the entertainment business, okay? Y'all tell jokes. Y'all go in on people all the time at The Breakfast Club. And I believed when they said that there's people that don't want to come on to the show now, The Breakfast Club. Heck yeah, I believe that. Absolutely, I believe that. You got so many people that don't like Charlemagne, which I don't think Charlemagne cares. I really don't think he cares. Why should he? He's too busy. He's a hustler. I mean, come on, yo. You know what I'm saying? Some people maybe they don't like DJ Envy, or maybe even Angela Yee, which I still don't get, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think Desus Mero, I think they handled the situation just fine. I don't think they went overboard. And Mero, he was even saying, as a married man with children, he was like, okay, I can understand where he was coming from, but it's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on, look at the industry that you do business in, that you do your job in right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't want jokes, be on another show. I mean, look at Donald Trump, I told people when he became the president, I don't dislike the guy. I still don't dislike the guy. People joke on him all the time. Does that mean I agree with everything that he says or everything that he does? No. But people joke on him all the time. And he takes it, he deals with it, however it is exactly that he deals with it. But what do y'all think? I don't want to talk about this all day because that's crazy. And I'm glad DJ Envy decided not to do that either. Do you think he did a little too much for this interview with Desus Mero? Because that first few minutes that he was going in, and I was like, dude, come on, you gotta chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It was you that wanted to talk about this on the air, on your national platform. You're the one that wanted to do this on the air. You wanted to have this discussion on the air. You wanted to do that. We could have talked about this backstage. We could have talked about this outside of the studio. We could have got on the phone. You could have called me right after you saw about the episode or heard about it, and we could have discussed it then. We could have squashed it or settled it or came to some sort of agreement. You know, we didn't have to do it this way. We did it this way because you decided to bring this up right now. Before I even watched the interview this morning, I didn't even know they were going to talk about this. I was familiar with it, but I did not know DJ Envy was going to have all this types of energy towards Desus and Mero, primarily Desus. You know, I didn't even know they were going to discuss it. I didn't even know they were going to talk about it. Like I said, I never seen DJ Envy go in like that. And I just, okay. All right. You didn't like the joke. Okay, fine. You know, even if I was on that side of the table where Desus and Mero was sitting, if I were in that position, you know, I might be thinking, not to say, I probably wouldn't say it out loud. Probably not. But I might be thinking, it's like, dude, you mad intense right now. You got mad energy. It's like, yo, dude, do we have to go outside and have a talk? Do we have to go outside and have a talk? Because you're doing a lot right now. You're doing a lot right now. I thought you were a DJ. You were doing a lot right now, okay? Chill out. Chill out. Por favor, chill out. But anyway, wow. That was entertaining. That was definitely entertaining. You know, DJ Envy has the right to be upset, but at the same time, you still got to be realistic. You're in the entertainment industry, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure other people in the entertainment industry, you know, personal family, personal things that happen for them in their lives. You know, I'm sure they've been attacked by others, whether they had a public, you know, a media platform available to the public, whether they had one of those for themselves or not, whether they had a show or not. You know, they still make the news because they're considered a public figure. So I think DJ Envy could have handled that differently. To me, Desus and Mero, they're fine. To me, it just really wasn't that serious, you know. So it wasn't the best look for DJ Envy. Yeah, I think people that have seen the show and hears about this, of course they get a joke on this. Of course they get to go in on DJ Envy about this. You know, and if you don't like Desus and Mero, that's your personal problem, okay? But come on, we gotta relax. We gotta relax just a little bit. That's really all that I'm saying, okay? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And DJ Envy, you know, this is something that you did, and I'm not holding it against you. You know, people make mistakes. People do things. Like, I like when Amara La Negra was on the show, on The Breakfast Club. I like that. She said something. She was talking about her parents, and she was talking about how they had been together. Their relationship has lasted for like over 50 years or something like that. And I was cool with that. I'm like, okay. She didn't say this verbatim afterward, but she said something along the lines of like, you know, my parents, they have been through what they have been through. And the way that I saw that was basically, I'm sure they've both made mistakes. But I'm sure they had to come to points between the two of them. Like, look, are we going to stay together? Are we going to fight this out? Are we going to stay strong for the family that we got coming and all that? We going to do that? Or are we going to stop and just go our separate ways? You know, obviously, they decided to stick together. That's the way that I rolled. And that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But if you haven't seen the interview, check it out. It was funny, but dag, I was not expecting it to be this type of funny. You know, real talk, dag, wow, yo, my man, Envy.